Hey there, welcome to Find Your Sun. I'm Cass.
And I'm Mare.
Join us as we find our sun through movement, nourishment, and well-being.
Awakened through the power of play. Let's dive in.
Welcome back to the Sun Podcast, where we explore the journey of self-discovery, movement, and nourishment, both inside and out. I'm Meredith.
And I'm Cassie. We are so excited for today's episode because we're diving into something that truly impacts every part of our lives, which is strength. Not just physical strength, but the deeper kind of strength that comes from within.
Yes. Strength is something that we often associate with fitness, but real strength, the kind of strength that carries us through life, goes so much further. It's mental, it's emotional, it's the quiet resilience that keeps us moving forward, even when things feel impossible. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes they can.
Yes.
And if you're working through that, then keep going, right?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And today we're going to talk about building strength for the right reasons. Strength that's rooted in self-love and not external validation or aesthetic goals. So this is a big one. We're incorporating both the mental strength and resilience and emotional and physical all in one, because they all are tied together, I believe.
I agree with you. So let's get to it.
Let's start with this. What does strength mean to you beyond physical fitness?
I think that's a really, really great question. And I love this question because strength to me is something that lives inside of us. I actually have this poem that I had tattooed on my body. From Emily Dickinson, and it's meant so much to me for so many years. It's Emily Dickinson's "Hope is a thing with feathers," and it compares hope to a bird that never stops singing, no matter the storm. And to me, strength is like that. It's the quiet but unwavering presence inside of us that says, keep going. It's resilience, it's trust, it's learning to listen to that inner voice that says you can do hard things. And when I found this message, it was really powerful. It's hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And to me, that is like the ultimate representation of inner strength.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I think inner strength is something, like you said, with your poem, is something that's always there, but you have to tap into it.
Mm-hmm. You do. You have to be listening, right?
Mm-hmm. But to know that it's there can be comforting, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there is times where you just want to be like, I don't think I can do it.
Mm-hmm. Like you were just talking about failure, like facing failure and saying, okay, I can be comfortable in knowing that I have failed. And the fact that I keep failing and keep coming back just means that I'm resilient and I will never stop.
Yeah, you have that strength inside.
Yeah. So I think that is like that inner strength that is.
Strength isn't just about what we can do physically. It's about what we can endure. And it's about pushing through when, like you said, when things get uncomfortable. It's having the patience to wait, the courage to stand up, and the wisdom to know when to let go. I always think about this quote about strength. Strength doesn't come from what you can do. It comes from overcoming the things you thought you couldn't.
Yeah, that's really powerful too. And I think part of that journey is realizing that strength doesn't always look like pushing forward. Sometimes strength is resting when your body and mind need it. I think even just like last week, just recognizing that my body, I can't push my body. I can't go and do a physical fitness or physical activity right now. I just need to be okay resting. And sometimes strength is saying, I need a little help.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Yeah, I like that too, because I think a lot of times strength is associated with like, oh, I can do this on my own. I got this. But we've talked about this in previous episodes, how we are all reliant on one another and to not just do what your strengths are, but like lean into your strengths and then ask for help where you need it.
Yeah, because, just because it's not a strength right now doesn't mean that it can't become a strength for you later.
Yes.
Because if it's something that you have the willpower to want to turn into a strength, you will.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
yeah. And I think when we ask for help, it takes a lot of vulnerability in saying, like, I need a little bit of that extra push right now.
Mhm.
But, and I
does.
think I'm probably still working on that, because I think that for so many years I've been doing things on my own with the help of my husband.
Mhm.
It's like we are very reliant on each other. But for me to ask help, it's
outside of that,
yeah, it's a
it's
challenge.
Mhm.
I think it's
I
a
definitely get that too.
powerful one that you have to become comfortable in saying, I need a little help.
Definitely. I think so
Mhm.
too. And another question that I have for you, I guess, is have you ever pursued strength for external validation, like wanting to prove something to yourself or others?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think for a long time, my relationship with movement wasn't about feeling good. It was about looking good. You know, in my teenage years, I would use exercise as a way to, like, unfortunately, like, punish myself, especially like if I was overeating or something, because I didn't have a healthy relationship with food or with physical fitness.
Mhm.
I didn't understand that, like, physical activity was something that was meant to make me feel good.
Uplift you.
Yeah,
in
uplift. Like, it was it's
an internal way.
exactly.
Mhm.
And so I think that struggle was real for me. And it wasn't until later through yoga when I really realized that movement could actually be this act of love, not punishment, and understanding that this, like, existence that we have here on earth is a gift, and any type of movement is a gift. Like, it's not like,
Oh, I have to go do this.
Yeah,
I have to go do that. I get to go do this.
it's such a,
You know?
yeah. And once you realize and appreciate and begin to understand, like, how to love yourself and how to appreciate your body
Mhm.
and what you are capable of doing, you find that, like, building muscle is such a superpower. Like, you feel like a superhuman just being strong.
Oh yeah. I have just been thinking about how, like, this is just my strong woman era right now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love just like flexing and just feeling.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh.
No,
Mine is not like that. I mean, it's pretty good.
I had arm day today. No, but it's not even just for, like, the external part, like you were saying.
Yeah.
Now it's just like feeling my muscles makes me feel good, but, like, there is also science-backed evidence that strength training and building muscle can actually help you build strength in other areas of your life.
I believe it.
So
Yeah.
building that physical strength is still important, even though that's not what strength is all about, but it helps you gather that strength that you need when times get hard, when other life events happen, because they will inevitably get hard.
And it gives you something to turn to, because it's something where you can go and build that mental fortitude to keep going and to continue challenging yourself. Like, you realize that you are capable of so much more when you begin to strength train, or when you begin to run, or when you begin to stretch or do yoga, or it's like surf, or whatever it might be. Like, whatever that movement is, like, it shows you that you are capable of so much more. And then it extends itself to other areas of your life.
Exactly. You're progressing. And not only that, you're releasing endorphins as you're lifting. There's, like, a science behind why you feel good after you lift. It's not just like the feeling of, like, oh, I got to do that, but, like, there's actually endorphins in your body that are helping you feel good. So going back to what you were saying, Meredith, about, like, how you used to use exercise to as, like, external validation, or to, like, look good, I definitely resonate with that. When I first started lifting weights, I wanted to be strong, but if I'm being honest, I wanted to prove something. I'd push myself harder than I should sometimes and compare myself to others and attach my worth to how much I could lift. And I remember, like, going to F45 and, like, looking at other people as I'm, in this group training and being like, oh, can I do that? Like, she can do that, so I should be able to do that. Like, I remember having that kind of conversation in my mind. Like, it wouldn't obviously be, like, external, but, like, I do remember having that feeling, because I'm a very competitive person, and it's just, it's not a good feeling, and it wasn't for the right reasons.
So how did you work through that feeling?
So as I got older, my mindset shifted. And I think that just came with age and like the feeling that I got afterwards. And like, honestly, I would push myself so much that I would feel like almost burnt out. It wasn't sustainable.
Totally not sustainable, right?
So that's kind of what pushed me out of it. And now, you know, with the mindset shift, strength training is for me and not for anybody else. It's to help me feel good. And I still love those like external like progressions for myself, but I don't compare them to other people.
Yeah, I feel like I've been in my own lane for so long that I just like, I don't feel like I look at anyone and think, oh man, I wish that I look like that so often. Like it's just, I know that I feel good. And if I feel happy within my own skin, then whatever movement I'm doing, like that's good. Like that's all I need, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just like, it's a tool for me.
It's totally a tool,
right? It's like you're in your own lane. You can use this as much as you want. You can move as much as you want. You can rest when you need to and know that you're going to get back on. There's just this freedom.
Definitely.
You know,
when you're not chasing after somebody else or you're just doing it for you. And strength training for me is how I care for myself and how I clear my mind and how I build a body that will support me for the long haul. Because I think a lot of times we're thinking about, oh, how is this helping me in the present moment? But it's also something, strength training specifically, that can help in your longevity, especially when you get older, because your joints need muscle to be able to move properly. Your muscles are what pulls your bones and move your joints. So if you're not properly working your muscles, then you begin to lose muscle and your joints are going to start not working properly. So
what's the old adage? It's, if you don't use it, you lose it. And it is so true, ladies or men out there. Like, I really, really, I know that I think we're going to begin to see another movement, or like a big movement, a push, where people are valuing movement and strength training and caring for our bodies and what we consume and what we eat. Like, I think that this is going to be, I hope it's a revolution, because we are facing a lot
huge
in America,
epidemic
right?
of obesity and just overall lack of health.
Yeah. And not caring for our bodies. And if we can just realize, like, if I just get in like 30 minutes a day, then I'm going to feel so much better. And I'm going to have that willpower to nourish my body in the right way, or to get up and do my next walk because I felt great after I did it. So I love that. And strength is something that we get to do and not something that we have to do. And I think that message, if that's the only thing that you take from today, then
enjoy the process. Yeah. And I was just saying, like, yeah, you feel good after, but like also enjoy the process. Like turn up the music. And we've talked about this a lot. Like enjoy the walk. Go walk somewhere that brings you joy, you know, like if that's in nature. I know Meredith and I, like, we love to walk the linear trail at the Brevard Zoo because it's just so beautiful. And on a hot day, there's tons of trees that are hanging over that are giving us shade. So I love that.
I have to say this too, like, I have witnessed someone recently go through like a significant transformation over the last year and a half. And I think it stemmed from something that was a challenge for this person, but now, like, her face just looks so bright. I think she's dropped like 40 pounds. Her face is bright. She's outside walking. She's listening to music. She's going on bike rides. Like, she's just in this, I think she's doing competitive soccer too now. Like, she's just really tuned in to making herself, like, placing herself as that priority so that she can help take care of the people around her. So, like, that transformation has, like, made me so happy to witness.
It kind of shows you the power of movement, you know,
the power of movement, because I've been doing this for years and I've been believing in this, like, medicine for years, but to see, like, it affects someone else in such a powerful way, I love it.
I love it too.
It, like, makes my heart so happy. So, just remember, we get to do this. It's not something that we have to do.
All right. So let's talk about why we build strength. What do you think are the healthiest reasons to pursue strength, Mare?
For me, it's something that you just touched on recently. I think it's all about longevity. I want to live a long life. I want to live a full life, but I also want to feel good while I'm alive. Like strength is what allows us to do the things that we love, whether it's playing with our kids, hiking, or moving through the day with energy. Like I can't tell you how many times in my past where the kids were young and like we were moving and I'm holding Mari and the Bjorn and I'm moving the entire house. And I can do those things because I have strength, because I didn't wake up and just be like, oh, today I have to move the house. Like I don't have the strength to do it. Like I was always working for it. Like those moments, like they make you feel so powerful, and that I could help my husband like during those moments without having to.
Yeah. Without having to just like watch and observe.
I was just strong enough to do it. Like, and I just had so much like.
I can totally imagine you like being a 75-year-old woman, just like with a big box of gardening tools, just like lifting.
Are you describing my dream right now?
This like I'm putting it into the ether for you.
Let's keep going. Yes.
So no, I mean that was then.
But getting up and down, like that's my dream. Like I want to be tending to my garden. I want to just be out in nature, and I want to have gone for a beautiful walk and listen to some type of crazy, beautiful music. And
yeah,
I love it.
Oh, I was just laughing because I was just laughing because Meredith sent me like this funny. Like it was like a rap song, which is totally not her vibe usually. And I was okay, yeah, maybe it will be like rap and like goth babe or something totally different spectrums.
I'm really embracing rap music right now because I think there's a time and place for it.
Oh, for sure.
And I didn't know very well. I mean, I grew up in the South, so yeah, I know a lot about rap. Like I actually do. But then I got away for a long time. Okay. But now that we've been going to the basketball games, I have like all this rap music is just like playing in the background, and then my kids are teenage years, so like they're listening to rap. So like I knew that Kendrick Lamar song, Not Like Us, like a minute ago.
Okay, good.
I'm like so into Kendrick Lamar right now with Luther.
I am too.
So good.
I know, right?
So good.
Oh, I love Kendrick. Okay, so yeah, I'm a gym gangster. So, but I do love the light and airy stuff too. So I'm both.
Yeah, we need a little bit of both.
Yes, exactly. So when you have, let's go back to like why you strength train. So when you have a strong why, you're so much more likely to stay consistent. So Meredith's why is to be able to like be strong when she's older. And I think that's a great why to have, because if you want to be able to lift that super huge pot of
flowers.
What is it going to be? What kind of flowers?
It's definitely going to be like gardenia and jasmine.
Gardenia and jasmine flowers. Then you have to, that's going to help you stay consistent, because that's like such a internal and not necessarily a quantifiable goal, but it's something that will keep you going no matter what. Like if you don't reach a short-term goal, it won't matter, because you're still going to be training for that 75-year-old Meredith.
Yeah. It's so true. And then also you think about grandchildren, like you're going to be carrying them, and I want to be able to carry them.
Yeah.
So I've got to be strong to be able to do that.
Yeah. And so for some, their why might be about preventing injury or staying active as they age, like I said, or maybe just having the stamina to keep up with your kids. So, and then for others, it's about setting an example for their kids. And for some, it's about mental strength, because movement is such a powerful tool for managing stress and anxiety. And if you're in a downward spiral, let me tell you, this is something that can help get you through. And yes, you do need to go seek other help as well. Like I'm not saying don't go see a regular doctor. go see a doctor, but also like do the other things too, because you can get through it.
That's huge. You know, movement changes your mind. It literally rewires your brain. And studies show that exercise increases the production of dopamine and serotonin, which help boost and reduce stress. And I don't think that we'll ever be able to discuss it enough, because I think that until we see that it's just something that you just know that everybody's doing out there to care for themselves, then I think that that's when you can stop talking about it so much.
Well, yeah, it's about setting that priority, and the priorities of the American dream have kind of surpassed that. Speaking of balance, how do you personally balance external goals like aesthetics with internal motivation? So like, I think it's okay to still have external goals. Like I still have external goals. Like I want to hit 5 push-ups by the end of the year. That's like an external, something external. I guess, how do you balance those two?
I think it's really the external side is, I think that both can really matter. Because I know that when I feel good in my body, I feel more confident. But the real motivator for me is how I feel. And, you know, there's a quote that my husband always talks to me about, and he always tells my children too, from Deion Sanders. And it's, if you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. And I think that there's so much truth in that, because and there's a little bit more to it. If you look good, you play good. If they play good, they pay good.
So it keeps going.
Because then it pays good too. So there's like just this, I think that I found that even as I age, like I find value in taking care of my body for those external reasons. Like I want to feel good as I'm aging and also look good. Like it's important to me.
It's just one of those things that kind of comes when you also have that internal motivation, I think. So like, and I like that saying too, because a lot of times, like sometimes I don't always get ready for the gym, trust me. Yeah. But when I do, like yesterday, I decided I was going to make a reel with one of my friends while we were working out, and I just put a little bit of lipstick on, and it's so just good. Like a game changer, because it's just so much fun. You feel good. You know, you look good. You feel good. So it's you know, it does. I feel that for sure. So
I think that's a good reason, you know?
And I think like the key is to let those external goals be secondary and not the driving force to your workouts and to your strengths.
All right. So let's get a little practical. What are some daily habits or affirmations that help you cultivate strength through self-love?
Yeah. One of my favorites is like one of the quotes that I love a lot is, "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds you plant." I think not having any kind of judgment about what I did that day or how many steps I got in is really freeing. And it's more about those daily consistent habits versus like what I just did, the only things that I did today. Like, so if, like you were saying, you weren't able to work out for 2 weeks because you were sick, it's like, as long as you were consistent before that, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I don't really
because
think
you've already planted those seeds so much and so often that,
like, I'm like itching right now to go outside and walk. Like I'm like I just can't wait. Because I'm finally feeling better. I'm finally feeling healthy. So like all that time that I put in before, that's what matters. Yeah. Like the consistency that I put in previously, those are the moments where it mattered.
You're like thanking yourself.
Yeah.
Because
where now it's just like, okay, I'll just
get back on.
Yeah. I'll just go get back outside and
and granted, like, you have to
and
like
I'll probably be a little sore.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I know that my butt is probably going to be a little sore after a good strength training workout, because you do have that atrophy that happens while you're sick, or you feel a little bit more weak. So you have to push yourself just a little bit harder.
You have to build up to it too.
But you have the muscle memory, right? So like your muscle already remembers how to grow.
Yeah.
I was just thinking if I could ever get my butt as big as like some girls that I just don't know I can.
You just need to come over.
No.
You have to come over and build it with me if you want, if that's something that you want to do.
Yeah.
But that's going to take some heavy hip thrust. And I don't know if you're ready for that.
I'm ready for that. Listen to that competition right there. You know, I was like lifting. I was doing some.
Sometimes I have to dare people, and then they'll
okay.
It'll light a little bit of fire under the butt.
Yeah. I'll come show you what I can do, Cassie.
That's just some friendly banter. Oh, okay. So another thing that helps me keep going too is having accountability. So even though I am a coach, I definitely know what to do most of the time. Granted, my coach has been coaching longer than I have. So he's a little bit he's further down the rabbit hole than I am. Mm-hmm. So I love having like just the extra set of eyes to be like, okay, is my form right? Am I doing everything correctly? And also the accountability. That's like the majority of like why I think it's so important to have a coach is, I love strength training and I love working out, but sometimes like I'll get into these little ruts where I just need somebody to like be like, hey, did you get your workout in today? And sometimes as an American, and I feel like a lot of other fellow Americans of mine, work can sometimes take priority, and I need to just make sure that I keep myself in check when it comes to that.
I feel like I've done it for so long on my own that having that accountability, I'd be like, I'm sick. Like, I'm just
be annoyed right now. By it.
Yeah, I really do terrible with it. Maybe I need to look at that and see if that's something I need to work on. Mm-hmm.
But that's a tool. That's a tool that I use. And then also just having my my gym right at home. Yeah. So if you don't have dumbbells at home, definitely get some dumbbells at home, because then you don't have any excuses. Then you can't be like, well, I couldn't go to the gym because there was a snowstorm. Be like, oh,
you don't need it.
I know that you have dumbbells right next to your couch. So
we actually
no excuses.
So many times on our treadmill, we cracked the middle of the treadmill. Isn't that crazy?
That is insane.
Like, we have used our treadmill so much that we broke it.
I feel like
it's time to get a new one.
Most treadmills collect dust.
Oh God,
so that's
not
amazing.
Ours broke.
Oh
so
my
sad.
Gosh.
I'm so sad. So now I have to go buy a new treadmill. Yeah. Okay, last question.
All right.
Last question for you. So can you share a moment where building strength helped you overcome a personal challenge?
Yes. Okay. So this is a big one, because this is kind of what sparked why movement means so much to me today. Mm-hmm. So after I had my daughter, I was pregnant with my daughter, I went through severe anxiety and depression. And I was going through like insomnia. I was only sleeping like 1 to 2 hours a night. And I remember like just crying to my best friend over the phone because it was actually COVID during this time. And I just felt helpless because I couldn't go to the grocery store. I was stuck in our house because we didn't know, it was so early in COVID. We didn't know what could happen when you were pregnant. Yeah. So
I was pregnant too.
Yeah. So you know crazy. What that's like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right. So I think it was probably the weakest point in my life, because there was just a point where I remember playing downstairs with my son, because he was home with me too, because daycares were closed as well. Mm-hmm. So I was pregnant at home with my 18-month-old now. And I just remember I was on 1 to 2 hours of sleep. I was not in a mental state where I could even make any rational decision. Mm-hmm. I would cry constantly, and I was like obsessing over whether or not I should nap. And like I tried to nap and then I couldn't, and then I would be frustrated, and it was this like constant cycle. Mm-hmm. And then, so I was sitting with my son in the living room. We were playing, and I remember looking at him and not feeling anything. Like I didn't feel sadness. I didn't feel love. And this is my son. Like, I love him to death, you know, but at that point in my life, I like couldn't feel anything. And if you've ever gone through depression, like that's what at least it felt like for me. I don't know if that's what it feels like for other people, but like it was just, it was the worst feeling in the world. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. And luckily, like, so it was, you know, springtime so in Minnesota, it was just starting to get a little bit warmer. And so I think it was that day that I had that feeling, and I just remember it so vividly. But because when you feel nothing, you don't feel any will to like, and I wasn't suicidal, but I didn't feel a will to live in a way. And that's when I think people can spiral, and I understand. Because not having any feeling is like dying.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that day, I think it was luckily a sunny day, and it was starting to warm up. And so we decided to go to the,
No. It's a really powerful message, because you're sharing something. So a moment that changed everything for you. And it's something that you can pinpoint that I think that you and I have had a couple conversations about, you know, and it's very real, you know, and it changed you.
It did. Yeah, and so that day, sorry guys, that day we went outside, and I just didn't want to feel that feeling anymore. So, or like that not feeling, I guess. So I just started doing something that like made me at least feel something physically, you know, because I could do something about that. And so even though I hadn't slept that day, I was like, I'm just gonna run around these baseball fields. So I literally just, as I was pregnant, I just sprinted.
Now, did you know movement? You had volleyball, but
yeah, I mean, I had movement in my life, but that's when I found power, like the actual power movement can have on somebody's life, on my life. So yeah, it was like that moment where I was running around the baseball fields, and I finally like felt something. Like I was able to feel like my heart beating, and I could feel that I was tired. And it's that little spark of like feeling that like helped me get through. And I do have to say, like, that wasn't the only thing either. Like, I was in a deep spiral, and if you ever experience something like that, you definitely still need to go get medical help. Like, I definitely got on some SSRIs, and I had to talk to a counselor, and like I had to do all of the things. Like, I got really strict about my sleep hygiene, and I started doing yoga at night and making sure like the lights were all dim. And that's where I found sleep hygiene as well. So it's like sometimes in those darkest moments in your life, you find those things that you can hold on to that mean so much to you and that help you get through whatever it is. You know,
it's that hope.
So movement gave me hope.
Yeah. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all.
Yeah.
And I think you can understand that because you found that small voice within that said, just keep going. Like, just keep going.
Exactly.
And gosh, this is now episode 2 where we've gotten to this moment. Because, you know, this is a very real thing. And I think that I've also chosen movement as like my foundation, like my Like it's everything to me because I know what's on the other side of that.
Yeah.
And that is not a place where I want to spend my time because I want to feel alive. And when we make our heart race just a little bit faster, it helps us through those moments, push through, right? And we realize what we're capable of.
Exactly. It was, you're so right. And I couldn't put it into words. So I'm so glad that you're here with me because it's like when you're in that when you're in that emotional state, I feel like it's hard to, you know, get it out. But yeah, that is what it was. It was this like inner hope and strength that I had. And I was just like, it doesn't matter if I'm tired. I'm not going to try to nap. I'm not going to try to do anything. I'm just going to run around these baseball fields because I need to feel something. And that's where, movement is powerful. It is medicine. It is hope, you know?
It is. Yeah. And it's, and if you find yourself like in those moments, like, yes, seek help, but I also just know to listen to your own internal voice that's very powerful. It has a strong will to live and it has, it will usually guide you. Find your sun, like find that light. Find that light that's within you that will always be inside of you.
And that's strength.
Yeah. And that's strength. So,
strength to keep going.
Yeah. That's strength to keep going. So this is, that story, that's a really powerful story. And, I'm so happy that something shifted inside of you. And, you know, I had a moment, that was a very challenging time for me whenever I lost my job. It was a really tough time. I lost my job. I thought that I was like in this like grand position and I was so excited and motivated and I poured my everything into this. So like, I want to tell you about a time that movement helped me see through. And, instead of like spiraling, I woke up the following morning after I lost my job and I walked outside and I just started running, like legit, just like Forrest Gump. Like I just went outside and I started running and I ended up running 2.68 miles. I will never forget. I like was not an athlete at this point. I was not moving. I did not have this will at that time. But it was the first day that changed everything for me because it taught me what I was capable of. And I didn't stop waking up to go for a run for a very long time. And so much so that I committed to running 134 miles around Oahu with a small team. And that moment, that decision changed me. And it taught me that even when life throws us curveballs or whatever it might be that you're facing, like you can keep moving forward. And I think that that's like the most powerful message that we want to continue to get across through this podcast is that there is so much power in taking care of your body, so much power in taking care of your nourishment and taking care of your mind. And I think that,
and that's where it's like finding your sun, that light within is so important because we have to find what it is that will bring us back to life because life does knock you down from time to time.
Yeah. And it's in those moments where you truly find out who you are. And I'm sure you all have your own stories where you felt knocked down and where you had to dig through. And it's all about resilience and self-love and finding that why that keeps you moving, you know?
Finding that little bird inside of you that keeps singing.
That little bird. Yeah. Okay. I want to tell you this because I think it's kind of cool, but like I got the tattoo backwards. So it's in my own handwriting and I got the tattoo backwards so that when I look in the mirror, I can read it.
Oh my gosh, that is so cool. I didn't know that. How come I never knew this?
I don't know.
See, we still can discover things about each other.
But yeah, I think so. I flipped it around.
That's really cool. I'm gonna get a tattoo like that now.
Yeah.
Just go get some tats after this.
Just go get some tats. I guess we do need a sun or something somewhere.
That would be amazing.
Right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. And Meredith and I also want to hear from you. What does strength mean to you? How did you overcome something in your life? Were you able to find movement? Did movement help? What else may have helped you? So let us know. We want to have a conversation with you. So make sure to message us on Instagram at The Sun Podcast. And let's keep the conversation going.
So until next time, keep finding your sun.
Find that inner light and that little bird singing inside of you. Have a great week, you guys. See you next time.
Have a great week.
Just before you go, if you want to sprinkle some love our way without spending a dime, why not hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel? It's like giving us a hug through the internet. So please give that button a little tap tap and join our Sun family.
Thanks for tuning in to today's episode. We hope you found the discussions enlightening and inspiring. Please note that the information provided in this podcast is for general informational purposes only. All opinions expressed here are solely our own and do not reflect the views of any sponsors or affiliate partners.
And before you apply any of the health strategies discussed on the podcast, we recommend consulting with a professional to ensure it is appropriate for your specific circumstances.
Remember, we're here to spark conversation and ideas, not substitute for any professional advice.